Yo, 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 finally, The Rock has come back. I'm just messing with y'all. It's been a hot minute, man. It's been a minute. Real life gets in the way of stuff. And then I had done something dumb. For those of you who are familiar with my previous content, if you wonder what happened to it, well, as you can see from the first two videos that I've been doing a little learning in the editing process. But I did something really dumb. And that was when you're not familiar with the process of doing something right, we make mistakes. Well, what I did basically was, I was like, oh, okay, now I know a little bit about editing. I'll go back and edit some of my videos, to where I could show what point I'm trying to make and, where I'm getting my information from, things like that. And instead of privating them and then editing each, I deleted them all, and then my external hard drive where I keep all this stuff decided to I guess quit on me. I'm not really sure what the phrase is, but yeah, it ended up, something bad ended up happening. I don't know if it was during the process of me hooking it up to a computer or what, but I lost everything. So don't ever do that. That should have been a dumb moment for me, but it is what it is, right? So anyway, just doing a little update about a few things that's going to be going on. For one, I have a lot of One Piece to catch up on. I don't mean reading or anything, but just I have a lot of videos that I want to do, and I need to redo a couple of the old ones because the information is still relevant to what's going on now within the story, as far as the flashback and what I think is going to be happening this year and stuff like that. So I just wanted to do a short little update about what's going to be going on. I'll probably have 2 videos go up today, so by the time you see this, there should be another one coming up. And the other thing I wanted to bring up is shout out to ZFB124 and Recon D Go Beard, because about a month or 2 ago in a live stream chat and in a couple of different streams, they brought up Gintama. We were just talking about Gintama, and I finally started reading it, and I'm about close to chapter 80. I'm going to start to do live reads of that when I figure out how I want to do the scheduling for that, because I want to do it at least 2 to 3 times a week, and I want to do it at the same time and keep it consistent. Like I said, I'm 70 something chapters in, and I just stopped reading it once I realized, I'm like, oh no, this is too good. We'll do it live. We gotta do it live. So I'm gonna start doing that live once I have the scheduling figured out. So for now, you can just do the regular always comment, because I'm always interested in hearing what other people think. Of course, like the video and subscribe, but you don't have to worry about the bell just yet. When I start doing the live reads, then you'll need the bell. I'll let you know when it's time to hit the bell, but it's not bell time yet. It's not Shandora time, but it will be. Probably the next few weeks or so, depending on what my spring break looks like. I might start around there. Well, spring break in general. And so yeah, that's what's coming up. So yeah, Gintama live reads coming up. I did see a little bit of the anime, but I couldn't get that far through it. I just couldn't do it. Not because it's bad or nothing like that. I think about 10 minutes in, I was trying to watch the first episode after I'd read about 30 chapters or so. Because I don't know how, every anime doesn't scale the same way, chapter to chapter. And I really didn't want to be spoiled, especially on something that's like over 10 years old, So, but I said I'd seen a character I didn't recognize. I'm like, oh, well, time to move it. Even before then, right? I heard that voice, man. The one and only Nitoriu. Yeah, she's so. One of the characters. What's his name? Hijikata, I think that's how you say his name, or Hijikata, one of those, however you say it, but he has, the great one, he has the same voice actor, which is full circle for me, because one of the reasons that I was telling them what brought me into One Piece, even though I was aware of it, I just never sat down and read it, was a friend of mine a long time ago. Mugen has always been one of my favorite characters. When I first started watching anime, he was one of my favorites when I was older. I seen anime when I was a little kid, but you don't understand what you're watching, right? But when I got a little bit older, like him, Spike Spiegel, characters kind of like that, I like those kind, kind of like a Free Will, those type unorthodox fighting styles, stuff like that. I like cats like that. And so when he had showed me a clip of Zoro, I was like, oh, it's Mugen. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Which when you look at both those characters, they're very similar. Zoro's obviously more of an actual swordsman, and Mugen is actually more of a pirate, which is kind of weird as far as how they behave. But same voice actor, so it's like, oh, okay, everything's coming full circle. And I like their comedy. It's almost like reading, if you've never read it before, imagine humor style comparable to, what's a good comic? I had it on the tip of my tongue. Think if you took Kenshin and mixed it with One Punch Man in a sense, like some of its humor and what they do. So I like it a lot so far. And I think when I get to, I have 5 chapters to go, I'll probably start at chapter 8. I haven't decided if I'm going to reread all the way through, because when I do, I'm going to let everybody know, like, hey, I read the first 80 already. But the series is so funny, it's like I already like going back and rereading. But that's in the future. So soon, because I have quite a few videos that I want to do about One Piece. Specifically, I have one on Luffy that I need to redo, having to do with him and his fruit and what's coming up for him in the future. I have one that I need to do on devil fruits in general, to include Vegapunk to a certain extent, as long as the video is just on Vegapunk. I have one left that I had started, and that was one of the ones that got ate by my external hard drive. And it has to do with, I don't know how to put this, kind of like the power schemes in the verse, and what I think is going on. Because I do think, besides what we got with the Poneglyphs and Raftel and, the end of the series stuff, I do think one of the reasons why Oda was saying he didn't want to give too much away, I don't think he was just talking about the Poneglyphs. I actually think he was talking about other stuff too, because we've got quite a few interesting devil fruit tidbits, I guess you can call them, during this flashback that make certain things that I thought not as concrete anymore. And part of this might just be because he's refusing to go too far into detail on that. But I did see some strange things this flashback so far. I'm sure you have too. And I did a video on Granny Shaman in particular. This was before we knew about the previous user of Bartolomeo's fruit, because she did a lot of weird things, and I didn't know if that was just like, oh, we're doing the off-screen thing, or I think he's still hiding devil fruit stuff. It's the other reason why, what we've seen happen with Kaido. Regardless of what you thought about it being anticlimactic, the whole Momo Kaido Bushin thing, still remember Kaido's, regardless how strong the character is, unless it's like a Garp, Roger, or Whitebeard or something, I think Kaido is just basically some Mike Tyson, to where not necessarily, a guy that, like, regardless of how the fight is going, if you slip up once, he's strong enough to end it. That's kind of how I took it. I didn't like the way it was shown, but I think that's just, once again, we're getting into that I don't want to give too much because he's getting ready to fight right now thing. I understand that. It's just that panel, man, it still bothers me. But and then I do want to talk about Kaido and Oden, because some things are somewhat obvious, and I think others are implied, right? Like who is stronger, because it's implied that Oden is just as strong, if not stronger than Kaido at that time period, right? And yet he still got one shot to the back of the head. So this is what I'm saying, like Kaido is like, that's why the 1v1 with him is so devastating. It's not just because he has all these crazy moves, because, even though Oden's hiding stuff, dragons have basic abilities, but I'm sure there's some other stuff with him that's just going to be, pretty insane, given on what the anime is doing with him right now. But I do think each time, like, when we start learning more and more about devil fruits, it's going to tie into something else, because they exist for a reason. And I'm pretty sure it has something to do with whatever happened in Void Century as well, because even before the Void Century, right, devil fruits had to have existed. They've had to, or else Toki never would have got to travel in the first place. So they have to predate at least her. And, some of that might be a obvious thing, but it's not something we really talk about, or really think about, is how long these things have been around and what their actual purpose is, and why is there so many of them. We don't have an actual number on them yet, because, every arc, right, gets some new one we've never heard of. And then I also wanted to talk about the relation between previous users, because this flashback did some weird stuff, like I said, with Granny Shaman. In fact, that probably will be the next video you see, because I'm very anxious to talk about the fruits, which, who isn't one of the most interesting power schemes of the series. Not that Haki isn't, it's just, I think Haki is a bit easier to understand than fruit abilities, because Haki doesn't have anything to do with imagination. It's pretty straightforward for right now anyway. Conquerors, who knows, but it's pretty straightforward in comparison to the fruits. What's not straightforward about it is how it interacts with devil fruits. So that'll be interesting to go back into again. And then it was something else that I want to talk about coming up. No, it wasn't Sword. There's really nothing new going on with that. I don't have any updates about that situation. What was it? Oh, the Pacifistas. I'm going to get into that in the Vegapunk video or the Devil Fruit video, one of the two. But at least the next few days and next week, I'm going to make an attempt to upload at least once every day. One video I have done already, but it needs to be, the audio needs to be dealt with. So I might have to redo that one, because there's a couple of parts that are really, really important, and my microphone is a lot better than I think it is sometimes, especially if I'm just using my phone, to where until I'm finished recording, I don't realize, like, oh, hey, they probably heard that, like a motorcycle goes by or something like that. But yeah, anyway, just everything is okay. I just had to take care of some stuff, but we're gonna get back on the daily grind, because like I said, I got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of new information on certain things, and there's no chapter this week, so I figure at least give everybody something to do out there. Well, it's good talking to y'all again, man. It's relaxing. I'm starting to feel back at peace. See what I mean? Some lifted truck just went by and set off everybody's set off some people's car alarms. Well, that's what it is. Catch you on the feed.